Alright guys, so I'm playing catch up with horror movies I have not seen that I wanted to see for a long time, and I just watched The Woman in Black from 2012, starring Daniel Radcliffe for the first time. Because this is one that I've wanted to see just because more that Daniel Radcliffe was in it, because I really love him as an actor in Harry Potter. And he's actually a really good actor, actually. Like in all of his movies, I think he's a really good actor. And I think that he, especially in Swiss Army Men, if you haven't seen that movie, it's fantastic. It came out a couple of years ago, and it's about him and Paul Dano, and like Paul Dano is carrying around a corpse of Daniel Radcliffe's body, and he talks to him because Paul Dano's character is going crazy. That's an awesome movie that he's in that's underrated. So Daniel Radcliffe is an actor I enjoy, and I wanted to watch this one just because, again, it was off of the hype of Harry Potter, because Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011, and this came out in 2012, so he kept going a little bit in his career. Even though he did lesser known movies, like he did movies that weren't big blockbusters. And The Woman in Black, I guess you could call it that, but it probably didn't do well at the box office. It probably did good. But this is a Hammer release, which I didn't think of until I actually saw the movie start. And it said a Hammer release. I just didn't expect that. That's pretty cool. Now this character, Daniel Radcliffe as Arthur, goes to this town where like there's this curse of the woman in black, and it takes all these kids, and these kids are all dying. And that's the basic plot of the movie. And also another Harry Potter alumni stars in this movie. Ciarán Hinds, who played Aberforth in Harry Potter, appears too as Sam. This character who is all like kind of his other person he talks to throughout the movie. He's kind of his only other communication. So there's the basic plot of it, that he goes to this town to figure out what's going on. And now this movie, like in terms of horror subgenres, like possession, haunting type of movies are not always my favorite. Like they're not as entertaining as like slashers. But I mean, there are of course fantastic possession ghost movies, like The Exorcist is fantastic. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like this type of similar subgenre, like haunting movies or possessing movies. They're not as rewatchable or watchable to me. And honestly, I thought this movie was fine, but I thought it was pretty boring. Like I thought it was really not like these characters are fine. There's not much to them, and there's not much to the woman in black character. Like it's a very basic premise, but played very straight. Where it's just like it's fine, but it's just pretty boring. And I did like, though, even though they do this in other horror movies, but it's kind of the rule that they try not to do in horror movies. But I do like the fact that this is all about kids getting killed, because that's usually a thing that people don't do in horror movies, even though there are exceptions, of course. But in this, it's like it's all about this ghost that keeps coming back and killing off these, getting these kids to kill themselves. I thought that was a pretty cool idea and really creepy and effective, because again, you don't see that much in horror. I mean, I know there are kids that get killed in horror movies, but it's more of the exception, not the rule. And I like that this one made it the rule in this movie. So I did like that. And the woman in black, whenever she's there in the movie, like she's got a creepy noise. I do think the noise is effective whenever she makes that yelping noise. I thought that was effective. But this also suffers from having a lot of really stupid jump scares where I just sat there like, man, you could have made it way more interesting if you didn't have a dumb jump scare in it. Like, that ruined it for me. I really didn't like that. It happened a lot in the movie, and it was unfortunate because, like, I don't know, jump scares can be done well, but then some jump scares can be done really cheaply, and this one felt kind of cheap with the jump scares. Like, there wasn't any that were super clever, so overall, this one was a little boring, but it was fine. It was competently done. It just is not my thing. Like, this one was just kind of really not that interesting to me. It was really kind of boring. There were a couple okay moments, but it was really kind of forgettable, honestly, to me. And maybe people might disagree. There are probably a lot of people who say, "Hey, I disagree with you" in the comments. Like, but that's fine. Have your own opinion. I have my own too. So I like that we can have different opinions. So I thought this movie was okay. It was fine. It was serviceable. I won't watch it again. It's not a one I'd rewatch. So overall, this one was okay. So tell me down below what you think of The Woman in Black from 2012, and thank you guys so much for watching.